we got a book review going. This is gonna be fire. So I have this book pile that I've developed over however long. I don't really know how long because the time it takes for me to read a book varies. One time I read 4 books in a month. Sometimes I read 1. Sometimes I read none in a month. It really depends. Also, reading speed varies. Sometimes I'm more busy than others. Sometimes, so it's just here now, and it's here to stay because it's too big to move now. It's this incommodious mass that I can't seem to get out of my room. At any rate, it's here now, and I was like sitting on the couch, and I was like, you know what I should do? Review all of it. Not all of it. I'm not reviewing all of it. Some of these are like Swedish books. Like, I don't even know where I got them. I'm not reviewing this for you guys. So, let's get into it. Animal Farm by George Orwell. I finished this literally today. You could read this in a day or two if you were really into it. Like if you're a relatively fast reader. It's a pretty short book, 141 pages. And the pages aren't that big. Look at the size of this. They're not that bad. It's really not that bad. It's about the Russian Revolution. Not really, but yes, it is. It's an allegory for it. The whole thing's a metaphor, because, literature. And I really enjoyed it. At times, it can be a bit obscure. Like, you need to know some history a little bit. But other than that, it's actually really good. I enjoyed it. If you're a history buff, especially with the Russian Revolution and, like, Soviet Union and stuff, this book is for you, baby. Next book up. We got The Importance of Being Earnest and Other Plays by Oscar Wilde. Now, okay, this is going to be biased. Well, this whole thing's biased. It's a judgment by me, which I have biases. I have enjoyments and things. So if you're just like me, this will be perfect for you, but it probably won't be, because you probably aren't. So anyway, I am an Oscar Wilde guy. That's why it's going to be especially biased for this. I really enjoyed this because I love all of Oscar Wilde's works. He is witty and charming, and he uses just the right words whenever he needs them. This collection had The Importance of Being Earnest, Salome, A Florentine Tragedy, Lady Windermere's Fan, A Woman of No Importance, and The Ideal Husband, or An Ideal Husband. And it is very good. I enjoyed this. This was kind of my escape for like a week or however long. I don't know how long it took me to read this. But it was kind of my escape. Like I was like, oh man, I can't wait to read Oscar Wilde plays. Like I really enjoy his stuff. I would say if I were to rank his plays, I would put The Importance of Being Earnest at the top. Peak humor, like genuinely made me laugh out loud, even in the modern day. And then An Ideal Husband, and then tied for third is Lady Windermere's Fan and A Woman of No Importance. And then there's tied for last Salome and A Florentine Tragedy. And if I were to pick one of the last two, I would put Salome and then A Florentine Tragedy, because the Salome and A Florentine Tragedy are written in like a biblical form, and they're very like antiquated. It's like it was written 2 centuries ago by a guy who was trying to write in a form even older than him. It's like reading Shakespeare times 10. It's kind of difficult. You kind of have to muddle your way through sometimes. But overall, all these I at least somewhat enjoyed, and the top 4 I definitely enjoyed. And if you enjoy learning about Victorian society, I think it ended in 1901, so probably like 19th century society in England, high society in England, I suggest it. I really happen to enjoying learning like that because it's so absurd to me. It's such a crazy concept, and there's so many confusing rules, and I just love it. I love all the absurdity. I love all the chaoticness. It bewilders me, and that makes me happy. So, next book. Oh boy, I can't wait to. Oh my god. Oh, I have it right upside down. The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde again. This is his only book, but I really enjoyed it. I don't know. I don't know if it was just my mindset during this time, but it took me a bit longer to read this book than it normally does to read books of this size. But I think I enjoyed the process. It was fun. It was like his plays, Victorian society, except this one discussed morals of the Victorian society which are, and well, the plays did as well, but this one especially like focuses heavy on morals and youth and beauty, and it deals with pretty somewhat heavy topics. Again, for everything I say, for all these books, viewer discretion advised. Like, you know, these generally deal with somewhat heavy topics, like death and stuff like that, and like murder and torture and crap in some of them. It gets kind of crazy. I'll talk about that later though. And like revolutions and stuff. But anyway, very good book. I think the story was very compelling, and but that's just because it's Oscar Wilde, so I love all this stuff. Okay, 1984 by George Orwell. I really enjoyed this book. This was one of my favorite books for quite a while, like a while. I remember it was gripping throughout the entire thing except for Goldstein's section of the book. Because I think whenever I ask someone about this book, they go, I stopped reading halfway through. And I think I know where they stopped reading, because I stopped reading there actually for a while. And then I picked it back up and I finished it. It was probably Goldstein's section of the book, if not, maybe just actually halfway through. This book isn't like hard to read per se, but for some reason, people have a tendency to stop reading halfway through, and I get it because I did it. I especially get during Goldstein's section of the book, which you'll get if you read it. You know what I mean. But it's like essentially a separate book within the book, and that book Goldstein's book is in the book, and so it's a separate book inside of it, and that section is really boring. Not gonna lie, but it's worth reading. This book is about if you're a dystopian kind of person, if you're a dystopian brought on by societal change person, this book is for you. It deals with very heavy topics towards the end, and actually just the whole book. Honestly, it invokes a lot of emotions, troubling emotions a lot of the time, and it might change your worldview. So don't blame me if it does. I warned you. I'm not saying that it changes it in a good way. It might change it in a bad way, depending on how your worldviews are right now. So, anyway. Oh, boy, this is going to be... Around the World in 80 Days by Jules Verne. This book... Okay. I remember reading a review for 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, and digression was a word that was used. He goes into a lot of detail about stuff that doesn't need a lot of detail. Like, you know, when you're reading that pamphlet at like parks, like national parks, it like goes, it's interesting while you're there, but you're not gonna you wouldn't read a book about it. This can be like that sometimes. Like it can explain desert landscapes, but not really the landscapes, but more so like the railroad companies that were there and the length of the tracks and how they were built. And it's like, okay, that's cool, but I'm reading a book about a detective and whatnot, and a bet, and you know the something club. I forget what club it was that Phileas Fogg was in. Anyway, sometimes he'll just do stuff that's unrelated to the book, and for a while, and so it can be a little boring sometimes. This book also took me a bit longer than normal to get through. It's you might have to muddle through sometimes, but overall, especially towards the end, I really, really, really enjoyed it. It was very compelling, and the characters were great. Story was interesting, though admittedly somewhat one-dimensional. Like, you know, it didn't really have like a bunch of stuff changing. It was mostly just like, okay, go around the world, and there might be a setback, and then continue going around the world, and there might be a setback. And so it kind of was like, you know, okay, get on with it. Like, I think that, honestly, that when they got to America, they kind of just, like, skipped over a lot of stuff because they were on a train, and it was like, okay, he was just trying to get it over with, because it was honestly so far into the book. But overall, if you're a history buff, especially in, like, the 18th and 19th centuries, this will be a pretty good book for you. It's a classic for a reason. It's like, what, 200-ish pages. Pretty good. It's pretty good. Not the best, though. I won't lie to you. Oh, this next one's gonna be good. I wish I could show you. Actually, I will show you I'll show you a photo of the full breadth of the book pile. It is atrocious. But The Count of Monte Cristo by Alexandre Dumas. I hope I pronounced that right. I probably did. Never mind. This book is insanely good. This book is like top 5, if not top 4 books that I've read. It has a billion plots in it, A, B, C, D, E, F, and G plots, and they all combine perfectly in the end. It's a revenge story, and of such a satisfying, class of revenge stories. It ends so perfectly that it makes you just go like you feel different afterwards. It's one of those things where you feel different. Same thing with 1984, actually. You feel a little different afterwards for a while. It feels like, dang, I lost something there. It was almost like somebody died when I finished this book, but like lessened, obviously. You feel a little bit of grief. So read it. oh, this is the abridged version, by the way. This is 500 pages ish. These are what the pages look like. But the full version is like 1,000. And also, I know there's another version that my girlfriend read, and she read them. It's like hers was like 500 and something, like 550. So and hers had a different plot, not a totally different. It didn't like change the story or anything, but like there was a different like a Z plot rather than a Y plot, and so it had a slightly different story, as in there was another story within all the other stories that mine didn't have. So whichever abridged version you get it might vary between versions. I enjoyed this one though. You might enjoy yours. So, okay, that's it. I probably should have gotten these out beforehand. That would have been smarter. That's a gift card. The 1818 text, Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. This book is very good. It's grotesque, disgusting at times. It deals with very heavy moral topics. It deals with like creation. It deals with death. It deals with revenge and a lot of other stuff that I'm not even going to get into right now, but it deals with stuff. It deals with a lot of complicated stuff, morally complicated stuff. And it is an interesting glimpse into what Frankenstein called the sublime. It makes you reconsider your connection with nature. It's an interesting book, though at times loquacious and prolix and just verbose. It can say too many words sometimes, and sometimes they're way too long. And sometimes the story is slow, but overall, I really enjoyed it. Though for this one, actually for a lot of these, viewer discretion very advised. Like 1984 and like the 1818 text of this, and Animal Farm. Just viewers, there's poisonings and deaths and murders and tortures in all these books. Well, not all of these books, but a lot of these books. And so, viewer discretion advised. And it just goes for everything. That's a blanket statement. So, I'm not going to pull this out, but in this, there's Catch-22. It's like on the side. Catch-22 is also 500 pages, but it's phenomenal. Oh, it's by Joseph Heller, by the way. It is, I don't know if I've said the author for all the books, but it's whatever. It is a phenomenal book. They are also prolix at times. It is about Yossarian, a bomber in World War II, who is trying to get out of the war. It is witty at times. It can be insanely thought-provoking and very gripping at times and emotionally, overwhelming. It's interesting, and I'll tell you what got me into it is that my girlfriend read it, and then she said, what's interesting is that all the chapters are titled someone, like their name, and the chapter essentially describes them, but it all connects. And it's all in relation to Yossarian, the bomber, sorry. And it all meshes very well. The ending is very nice, though, again, deals with very heavy topics because it's about war, World War II. So, obviously, some pretty dark stuff is going to happen. But if you're willing to handle it, I genuinely think this was one of my favorite books. I'd say 1984, Catch-22, and The Count of Monte Cristo are my top three. And if I were going to say top play, I would say The Importance of Being Earnest, obviously. If you can, watch The Importance of Being Earnest, but don't pirate it. I don't support pirating. What I'm reading right now, I'll tell you. These are my magnet things, so I can keep the paper books down. I am reading For Whom the Bell Tolls by Ernest Hemingway and Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. I haven't even started this one yet. I'm going to start it tomorrow. Generally, I don't read two books at once, but I'm actually not really reading this one right now. I stopped because I didn't really like it very much. Hopefully that changes, though. I'll read Pride and Prejudice as like a palate cleanser, and then I'll continue reading this. But I didn't really even get too far in. I got to page 13. And I'll read it. I'll read it. I just might not enjoy it very much. It is also, oh my god, like 500 pages. So, you know, but I'm excited to read Pride and Prejudice. I've heard that it's about like love in Victorian England, and I love reading stuff about Victorian England, as is denoted by my Oscar Wilde addiction. Let me put these back on. I guess also I got this cool book from Yellowstone. It's a reference book, so it's not really that. It's not like a good read or anything, but it's like, you know, oh, let me identify this rock, a feldspar. That's cool. So, anyway, these are the books that I like and that I found when I was looking at the pile just now, impromptu. Do your own research beforehand again, before you buy any of these, because, you know, it's just my opinion, so might be totally freaking wrong. But at any rate, maybe it'll be useful to someone sometime, somewhere. Maybe they'll discover 1984 and they'll be like, wow, this is the best thing I've ever read. And it'll get them into reading. Oh, another review. Sprite tea? It's okay. It's basically the same level as Sprite. Like, it's like, here's Sprite, here's tea, like in quality, and then here's Sprite tea. Like, it's almost like just the same quality as Sprite and tea. It tastes like two distinct flavors. You can just taste Sprite and tea. It's not like it's like they didn't meld. It's not bad. It's, again, the same quality as Sprite, but, like, you know, I guess try it for yourself. It's interesting, at least. It's cool. I'm also a real big Sprite fan and tea fan, so, you know, I was really excited. I went out to Walmart to get it specifically. Okay, I'm rambling. Bye. I'll see you guys later for, I don't know, whatever.